Brendan Conley here with the Lake Life Realty team, and I'm with Connor Hayes from Hayes Construction, based out of Center Harbor. So Connor, thanks for meeting me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
We're in one of Connor's newer construction homes over in Wolfboro, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about where you are today, how your business looks, and how you got started in construction.
Sure, yeah. We got started in 2008. I started Hayes Construction. I wanted to own my own business. I enjoy the problem solving and the challenges that come along the line, so that's how I got into construction. I'm passionate about energy efficiency, and this allows me an avenue to express my passion, so I'm into it. I'm all about it.
That's great. Yeah, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is you mentioned energy efficiency, and it seems to be a bit of a niche market for you.
It is.
It's something that a lot of people overlook, surprisingly, in today's day and age that we live in.
Right.
So you can tell us a little bit about how that impacts the way you build and what you may do a little different there?
Sure, yeah. I am 100% guilty of trying to put as much house in the ground as humanly possible. One of the areas that I specifically try to do that is with the insulation budget. To me, it is quality by numbers. I'm a big believer that any builder can make a house that looks good, but to have a house that's comfortable to live in, affordable to live in, to me, that's where I choose to make my mark in the industry.
That's great. Yeah, that's one of the big things is they can look year over year how those initial dollars really help them in the long run.
Yeah, that's right. It's like I said, it's quality by math. If I tell you that the house is going to cost this much money to heat and cool over the year and I'm not right, then I obviously didn't do my job correctly. So
yeah. So energy efficiency is something that's big in today's day and age. What are some other trends you're seeing people put into their houses, specifically maybe their lake houses, stuff like that?
Yeah, I've had clients that have gone both ways in the last few years. I've done a couple of houses that have been very contemporary, very clean lines, very bright and open. And at the same time, I still see a lot of the clientele that are looking for that Adirondack style, the timber frame, the barn style,
Absolutely.
Which is something that we really enjoy doing too as a crew. So we able to handle both of those aspects pretty well.
Great. And as we know, especially in New England, the building process can be long, but what's your favorite part of building?
So that's a really interesting question to ask me, because a lot of people will tell you that the framing is a lot of instant gratification, the finish is where it's sort of all coming together. But for me, to keep the pressure on myself, to keep the challenges coming, I like to stick to the schedule, I like to stick to the budget, and that means that I need to be 100% organized and 100% ahead of the crew the entire time. So for me, it's the problem solving and making sure that all the answers are answered before the questions are asked.
Absolutely. So working with that client, getting everything together, and making sure you're on top of everything.
That's the truth.
So one of the most important things I wanted to touch on is we're seeing some different markets as far as building goes, real estate obviously tied together very much. What's the biggest challenge you're seeing in the building industry today?
I think any builder you talk to right now will say that the biggest challenge is manpower. Labor is at a premium. Doing construction these days is often overlooked. I'm pretty lucky though, I don't face that problem. I have a large crew. They've worked with me for a while. I take very good care of them and they take good care of me. So that allows me to execute projects on time, on budget, and I know exactly where the quality is going to be every time.
Great. So you have employees that you're taking care of, you're providing work to, and you're running a business, a true business.
I keep them busy 52 weeks a year.
Perfect. That's great. So where do you see the industry heading today? What's the new thing that's going to start popping up in houses that we're seeing?
Well, I think that the energy efficiency continues to be trending. There's no lying about that, and I think the reason is it just makes sense. Energy efficiency, when you're spending money on those efficient appliances, spending money on insulation, it gives you a return on your investment, which anybody who has a head on their shoulders, you can't say no to that. So the energy efficiency is going to continue to become more and more popular. And I also think that some more of these contemporary designs, like what we're looking at in here, is going to continue to become popular as our generation gets into building their own houses and figuring out what their flavor is. I think you're going to start to see more of these bright, open, clean spaces.
Great. So I want to thank you so much for giving us the insight, what you're seeing around. But before we go, I want to know, as always, how do people get in touch with you? Where do you want them to find you? What do you have going on? so on.
Yeah, the website is jchayesnh.com. You can find my contact information there. We also have a project going in Center Harbor that people are welcome to stop by. You can't miss the sign on 25B. We have 2 projects going on in Meredith right now, so anywhere you see the sign, please feel free to stop in, knock on the door, and kick the tires.
That's great. We'll add all the links to that in the video, and we'll make sure that you can find Connor no problem. And that's an open invite to stop by a project, see what's going on.
Cool.
So I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you.